Hey everyone, this is the Heroes Podcast. I'm back again and I'm really excited. Today's story has been in the making for over 2 years, I guess, and you'll find out more about this. But I've got Meilin Ehlke here. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for inviting me, Andrea. I'm really happy to
Yes,
be here
very excited.
finally.
When we said this, I was still in Australia. Now I'm joined on the European continent, so I'm not too far from where you are, Germany.
Yeah.
But do you want to tell us a bit about yourself? What do you do? How do you do it? As far as I know, you are bringing light into people's lives, wherever they are. And tell us a bit about your story, your struggles and troubles. Where did you start from?
Lives, that is life. Right? The whole way of growth until up to this point started when I was little. I always had a nick of trying to find out who I am and what I am. And maybe it started um, I felt connected always with nature and animals and everything around me. So I was rather happy. But then when I became a little older, maybe around school, when I was in school, then connected with many other people I didn't know so well, I got a little self-conscious because I have a limp. I have cerebral palsy, so I walk different. I have a different rhythm of walking. Nowadays, later we'll talk about it. If I look back, that is something that honed my gift of feeling differences, or I'm a physical channel, right? My body changes when information comes through. My body is one of my instruments to support people in unfolding into the being they are, why they came here onto this earth. And especially now, Andre, it is the time or sign of a time. I have to think about the Prince song. He already knew that way back. People are questioning, what am I? What I'm about, or what am I? Even the what question comes. Just being a human being often is not enough. And because I had so many different ways of being, I grew up in two different cultures, or parents from two different cultures. They have a rebellious vibe about them. They always did what they wanted to do. They wanted to see the world, get to know cultures. Um, so they introduced me to all of this, took us along, my brother and me, already as young children, to see the world, see all economical levels, social levels of people. And I've learned from them how you treat people well. And with respect is the wrong word, but with respect.
I was wondering what two cultures are you referring to? Is it Asia or Europe? That's what came into my mind, but tell us.
Now, in a way, if you go further way back, then it's all German.
Okay.
But my dad's family moved 200 years ago back to the US from, which is now Poland, from Pommern, that area. And my mother is from East Germany. She escaped from East Germany, and they met then in Darmstadt, West Germany, where the Air Force was. And my dad was a Russian decoder. And so I think the refugee camp, an integration camp for people that had escaped, was also in Darmstadt. So that's how they get to know, and they're still there happily. It has been rough, you as an American, because really it clashed often, but this clash is an ignition. It makes you think. And why? So I left then when I was in my 20s. I wanted to get to know the other side of me. I've lived then in Switzerland, in Germany, and I wanted to get to know the American side. But what I didn't know was also the landscape in the US is totally different, has a different vibe. I have lived in, as mentioned, in Switzerland, where you have the Alps, so that is the rough, masculine young man energy, right? you go for it. And there was more soft, older land that I felt. So I became different. I developed more into my feminine side in the US and also into my spiritual direction, because Atlanta, where I lived for a long time, has a granite outcrop, and that outcrop is known to spark your opening up, and so everything can come out that's inside, and it did.
So how long did you live there in Atlanta? When was
I
it?
lived in the US 20 years, and then I had my son there. I met my husband, he's German, first German boyfriend, we say, in the US. And then after my son was born, a little while later, we came back to Germany. So I could raise him, I don't know,
Was
free and open. Sometimes there were too many restrictions, I felt.
I went I went as far as New Zealand to find a Hungarian wife. Can you believe
Yeah,
it?
oh man, you have the same.
So how did you find the light? How did you break into this light bringer, if I could call you that? Like, what was that? I understand you started to connect with things.
Mhm.
How did this happen for you? What tools did
Oh,
you?
it was not easy. So let's say that was a journey. um, when I was younger, people always sensed I was very calming and they loved my presence. And now, even later in life, fellow students, they told me, "Oh, Meilin, yeah, we could come to your room and we would just calm down." I said, "What?" You know, so there was always one thing, people could be who they are when they were in my presence, and they expressed that. So I learned through that, because I'm not someone, even though I work very shamanic, I don't see or hear things. I just know. And that is the hardest way to experience oneself and believe in what you are or what I am. So luckily I moved in, as I mentioned, into the spiritual, into the shamanic. The animals pushed me then in starting shamanism for animals. I had to really fast learn to believe in myself. So I learned already prior to believe in myself, when I made a decision, I want to move my body faster, better. I didn't want to end up, how they told me, in a wheelchair. So I learned with the Koreans for many years, expansion and light. And even there, people said, "Oh my God," they had always came around me and hovered over me so the energy wouldn't flow out. I couldn't understand what it was at the beginning, but I learned what people told me when they reacted. And more and more over the people years, the people told me, "Oh, you glow when you come. There is so much light." Yeah, and then you're together with so many other shamans, it becomes easier. And so I then noticed, oh my God, everything I'm doing, it doesn't matter if it's the sounds I sing that arise, and that also suddenly came, man, I needed to learn confidence with that. I tell you. I've been told I cannot sing in school already, and they even let me not come to class because I was more disturber, because I couldn't hit a note. And suddenly I started singing, and people came to me so I would sing for them, because then they could see these lights, they could feel comfort, they could remember. But for me, it sounded horrible, and I had to practice in tiny steps. So everything, Andrew, is tiny steps in my life. I never did huge steps. Yeah, so it was always gradual, but it had time to embody. And that's also important for me personally. And I think this is also important for many other people. We have to give it time to change. Too often people want change fast. And it's promised so often fast. But the body can't take it. You have to adjust, you have to learn, you have to get broader, right? Even as I say that, so our light, because we are light beings, energy is based on, is light, all different colors. So the more I expand as a being, a person, I can move more freer, but also the light shines through. And then we can start to play with the light in our body, right? We get light from the cosmos that comes into us on the top and goes up again and out. But we also have the light that comes through our feet into our body, um, and goes back down, and they meet in the middle, right here. And that is our center point, Mushkiki, the natives and some cultures call it. The Asians is, where yourself are located. And from there you radiate. It's like a clash, and it's an explosion, almost like galaxies created, right? Two galaxies come together, they bang together, and you can see it in the cosmos. And light spurts out and a new being. And we have that within us. And it was dimmed over many cultures and thousands of years of us being told we're not worth anything, um, almost in many places, especially the Western cultures. Luckily, we have the Eastern cultures, or maybe South America or New Zealand, right? The Maori, that were able to live and keep their culture longer, so we can remember from them again what we are about here in Europe, for example, and that we have also this ability to heal, to for our presence to touch other people. So that light is how we communicate as human beings. It's our presence, right? Often we don't have to say something, people get attracted to us. Or how a room feels when you go to the butcher, right? There is an energy, a warmth, a charisma, it's called, that goes out, and people can feel it. And it's important that we expand, exhale, and that the light can flow through and touch others. And also the light within us, so that we hold it and become aware that we are someone who can create. So that ups the creativity, that ups how we react and relate to other people, family members, friends, partner, future clients. It really has a huge impact.
I really love how you have described this step by step change, and I totally agree how internal changes need to almost unfold into the 3D. To
Yeah.
This is why I don't want to see my clients for 2 weeks, because we don't want to be the big breakthrough, then no translation into their lives. I want them to have a new experience of themselves or their relationships, or however it needs to show up.
Mm-hmm.
But I think then ideally there is more inner change than that, again, has to from within to without. And probably in your context it's more light than anything else that starts to shine through. What would you say to someone who is, well, I stuck at the dark spot and not feeling connected? What could
Mm.
they do now?
I always say sit in the sun. So we know a lot. I mean, we can scientifically go in. So much healing is being done now by color, which is light, right? You can go to a doctor. Red light therapy is a well-known thing. Lasers can go in directly and change our cells. Each cell has light. I mean, there's a whole science once you go into, and you can play with that. And we as human beings don't need science. We can do it. We can play with light and create an energy ball, but we could also say this is a light. And once you close your eyes, you can bring it into your body. So I would say first step is sit in the sun or moonlight and bathe in it. Feel how your cells react to the sunlight, the tingle, the warmth, how it feels on the skin, how happy it is, or then maybe more the moonlight if you're very sensitive. How does it feel? What memories come? Does your rhythm of breathing change? Yeah. And it's like a bathing is soothing. It soothes you, it relaxes you. So, why does that happen? Because you synchronize with the moon's light and you synchronize with the sunlight. So the same is if you have a certain higher vibration, that's also you have a more light that flows, and it's not always a white bright light, right? We have so many energy centers, then there is invisible light, blue light, and light beings, they have even different lights in them in their body, and we react to it, we synchronize with it. So if you have children, for example, sometimes you sit somewhere on the playground and a child comes and sit next to you, so it's the light they attract to, they synchronize and the communication starts um, with it, and you can get happier if you're together with someone who has a high vibration. Your thoughts, um, you are not so much about worrying, it is about of creation, and you pull your own knowledge. The light that comes through also brings your own knowledge, the wisdom you need for yourself. So not listening to so many other people, listening to yourself, and the listening is fantastic when you are again in the moon or sunlight. That's a start.
I love it. If people are listening and watching this episode, how would they know if they need to reach out to you? Who would be your typical type of audience or client?
A person that has always felt there's more to them than what is life is presenting. It has so many questions that stay unanswered. Um, I think those are the ones I attract. Also, those have a vision of to do something grand and great in the world, that are interested in themselves to get better, but they know have to get better, or growth, I should say, or more themselves, because they have things to do for humanity, for this beautiful planet and everything that lives on it. Um, and sometimes it starts with oneself and then the close family or the children, that you can be who you are. So a child looks at you, says, "Oh, I want to be the way she is," as a mother. Yeah, or if you're a father, how he is, only that without that you have to use words, but your actions and your energy field, your light field expresses that.
Do you deal with a lot of, let's say, trauma, sabotaging beliefs that people carry around? They don't even know. If so, and how do you help them out of it to find a new version of themselves?
Most of it is a support in remembering. And I'm lucky my sounds help remember, and they arise in the moment when they're needed. Because sometimes words are too difficult to even take in, especially if you had traumatas, or you're stuck somewhere and you can get forward, and you worry then too much. Mm. And then another thing is the presence. So when you can relax in my presence, and it doesn't matter if you're in the room with me or on the online. So when you move into yourself, into your own being, where your whole body relaxes, and again, maybe at the beginning people are more, mm, I don't have so much force, because first they have to let go and just say, yes, that's what I am, and I'm tired of having living these roles or masks that I have learned, or maybe I thought is the best thing for me. And then you're also able to hear your own future, also where you're moving into. So that's one of my specialty. I always sense where people are moving to, and these songs help them remember so they can gently move. And there, I'm just someone who nudges, because it's so important that we all can go in our way and in our tempo. And then also I paint for people something. So it's a small piece of art with plant pigments or earth pigments. And it's a memory, so they always get pulled. So it's a constant pulling to go in the future. So I have a way of looking at many facets from all different ways, because that's how we are as humans. We're not one thing, and we do not focus just on one thing. We're taught to do this, but especially for women, it has hurt us a lot, because we're communal. We thrive together. Yeah, men, they were the hunters. Were you trained, or you used to go out and wait and sit for a long time and wait for the animal to come that you hunt, and then it presents itself to you, and there you have the food. But women were communal, and I think many women suffer under that they're so alone and don't feel connected. So you'll feel more connected to everything that exists out in the world, but especially all the parts within you that we have. We contract. So I have spoken about expansion, but the opposite is we have contracted. And then there's some areas we're really strong beings, people, and we have strength and energy. So we can hold it very tight, and then to let gently to look into what do you really carry, because it's a remembering of what we are already. So all of my travels, you asked me at the beginning, Andre, I have recognized over and over what I'm already in, what I brought, and I'm living now this more and more. And the time, as we were speaking about time, the whole cosmos asks us now to be who we are, because it's also needed for others. And also, those are the people that come, they know they're needed.
Would you, you mentioned singing, so you literally working online and offline, and singing is part of how you help people find the light. Did you want to introduce us a bit to how you help?
Yeah, the tones, and you asked me about confidence. It was very difficult. Suddenly it was there. It was 20, but it was very uh, galactic. I always say it was 2012 at an esoteric fair, and suddenly the tones came for the first time, and the television was there and doing everything. And but even though I was popped open like this, I was so scared. I thought, oh my God, who am I? So this is something I think many of you're the doctor of self-worth. The biggest question is, who am I? Am I allowed to? And we're trained to be diminished, made small. You're not worth anything. You have to listen to the teacher. You have to listen to the professor. You have to listen to your boss. We're not used to voicing our voice, bringing out that light. So I was the same. Bringing out the voice, speaking my truth. It's not easy. It's also short. But then I had only sang outdoors in the wind. And I thought, okay, the wind carries around the world and touches whatever. Then with friends, and but they were just my shamanic group. I practiced here and there singing, and to see how they respond. And yes, then later I had a whole radio show where people would write in for questions about a topic, and a personal topic or humanity or even, and I would sing to that. And what happens to people is they just relax into themselves, and they get all their answers. So I don't even have to speak or say anything. It's like that, it's a certain topic arises, and then there's song. They're sometimes very soft, sometimes they're very strong, sometimes very angelic, and then very loud, whoever comes through. I have many.
And what would you say if things go well for you in the next few years?
Yeah.
What would you be celebrating in 5 years' time?
Oh, taking for me, and I have that vision for a long, long, long time, long, long, bringing people in nature together. So I sense now, and it's arising and coming to travel the world. So to places, and it's not the big sacred sites. There's so many tiny in nature. I'm also studied landscape architecture in the US. So you have spots that are there to help you. So where we people can heal ourselves in community and heal nature, all the scars we have created to it. Yeah, there are ways to do it. And but also to let nature help us. So this coming together, like when two people relate beautifully and sharing their light, because so it expands many more times stronger, like, and then this is what I'll be celebrating by trips, and more we go around the world and have fun. So everything has is fun. So that's another thing that is so important, that there's not this weight, and then there's a lightness, and nature brings us to the lightness, the sunlight, and it's all for free. It's for free. Go touch a plant, sit against the stem of a tree and let the tree envelop you. Feel the energy, the light that the tree sends out. And you can see the light. If you squint, everyone, your eyes in the evening, just before the sun sets, and you look over in the distance a field, and there's trees, and you see different colors. Trees have different colors, flowers, and you can see that each carry their light, and people too.
I would love to spend some time with you. Let me know when you come towards the east, Austria. I'm not far from the Austrian border.
Sure, I would love to have you. Yes.
What would you say if, what did I not ask you that you would really wanted to share today and that I think people need to understand and know?
The word believe in yourself is, we have heard so often, or love yourself, right? But really to take the time to look, maybe take a notebook outside. So when you're sitting and said, to jot something down and to trust what your body does. When you go, what words are written, let it flow through. And maybe there was even a beautiful book, The Artist's Way, right? And you just write 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 minute, and see what unfolds. When you go through the world and you walk somewhere, see where your body leads you. Don't stay on the path. Maybe go off the path into the woods, like children do. Follow maybe children. Andre, I remember I read a book as Anastasia from a Russian woman. She said, follow your children. What do they want to explore? So when my son was 2, I walked behind him. It was amazing how he saw the world totally different. He's a different being, but it gave me a better understanding to him, and what animals he would attract that would come to him. If it was an owl, a bird, deers, they would, yeah. So I was on distance, and to trust that nothing will happen to him. Yeah, that we come explorers. This is important, and take the time to see the beauty of the world, of a leaf, the intricacy, a flower, a petal, the clouds. Yeah, sit and become aware what is behind you, in front of you. Yeah, see the beauty of the world and other people. Let yourself be surprised.
Almost like children, huh?
Yeah.
So
But
much.
if when we say children, people always have a sense of, I don't know, there's something happens. It's like a child, but we're no children anymore. We're adults. I'm in my late 50s now. So I'm not like a child anymore, but explore it. children were very open, so we have to open up again and see the energy and light that children see until they're about 6 or 7. They don't see boundaries. So
Yeah, I think it's. Yeah, go ahead. So that they have that first time experience again. I think that's what.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
No conception. It's about experiencing things without labels,
Yes.
without thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the scary one when we are ruled inside by prejudice and even one or two experiences that could have been negative. I do help a lot of people through things that when they've lost their self-worth or they lost their confidence, and those few events could completely take charge of their psychology. If someone wants to get in touch with you, Meilin, what would be the website? What's the easiest way? Website or social media? Tell us how to get in touch,
Website
how
is
to
good,
follow
or
what you do.
social media. It's Meilin Ehlke, so Meilin Ehlke. So that's my handle for every social media, and my website is a .com, also meilinelke.com. And you can write me, connect with me. I'm very open. Speak with me.
Probably I'll have someone to be connected to you from Australia who's having another podcast. But I'm so happy that you've been here today, and I hope this energy, your lightness, will be spread around through the Heroes podcast. Is there any last nuggets? And I understand you already shared so much wisdom with us today, yet any last words before we finish this interview that people must understand and uncover, unlock in themselves, other than, as you said, this playfulness and freedom?
You're brilliant. As a brilliant, a bright being. So maybe people have put something over. Just take that off. Believe in yourself. This brilliance, independent what anyone ever said to you, they cannot take it away. It is in you, and you have it. And begin playing with it, using and exploring yourself. And nature is always there for you, and it's such a big help. And if not, there's so many people that if you ask, we're not used to asking for help. This is the little one. So even start there, and maybe people you don't even know, and suddenly you chat with them and they're the biggest help. Then invite them back, or I don't know, go into connection with yourself and other people and nature.
Thanks very much. Absolutely. As you've heard from Meilin, get in the flow of giving and receiving, and what you see, you just start to evolve and elevate your life.
It's a spiral. And I think that's what we're not told. We're taught to become immovable, right? The less we move, we get starr, rigid. So, and the more we move, because we're beings that are very flexible, and we're in a cosmos that is constantly in movement, and the stretching also helps, And one, you asked about a question for people really help to go fast into themselves or go into another state, and it's taking 3 deep breaths, whatever rhythm. The third one, you'll be already very relaxed, and your thought process changes.
Thanks very much. I will hope more and more people will learn from your wise words.
Thank you.
And they start to follow you because there's so much gold in your words and in what you've been through. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope to see you soon.
Thank you, Andre, and everyone. The best to all of you.
Absolutely.